I'm Natasha, Busst, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Bomb attacks at southern Thailand's petrol stations. Intelligence suggests suspects may have fled to Malaysia. And rescuers find one body and debris from Indonesia plane crash. Kelantan police are on the lookout for several suspects linked to bomb attacks at 11 petrol stations in southern Thailand amid intelligence suggesting they may have fled to Malaysia. State Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Yusof Mamat said Thai authorities had informed their Malaysian counterparts that the suspects had escaped on the day of the attacks. Yusof said special branch teams have been deployed to assist with investigations and surveillance efforts to track down the suspects' whereabouts.
Itu kita masih dalam siasatan. Cuma kita ada berhubung dengan pihak Thailand. Kita cubalah bantu pihak sana untuk mengesahkan kalau sekiranya ada.
Earlier media reports said some members of the group involved are believed to be hiding in mountainous and forested areas near the border. One of two suspects detained in Yala was also found to have been preparing to flee to Malaysia. In the early morning attacks on January 11th, 4 people were injured after multiple bombs exploded within a 40-minute span, triggering fires at 11 petrol stations. The incidents occurred across several restive southern Thai provinces, including Narathiwat, Patani, and Yala. Speaking on another case, Yusof said that Kelantan police had conducted raids at multiple locations in Kota Bharu to track down a woman known as Luna in connection with a drug bust involving cannabis buds worth 1.82 million ringgit. The suspect, who is in her 30s, is believed to still be hiding in Thailand. The woman, believed to hold dual citizenship, is suspected to be the leader of the drug smuggling syndicate. Luna's involvement with the syndicate came to light following the seizure of the drugs and the arrest of 3 men during an operation in Kuala Krai on January 3rd. Muhammad Yusof explained that Bukit Aman had already contacted their Thai counterparts for assistance in tracking down Luna.
Kita percaya berada di negara jiran lah. Sebab kita pergi beberapa rumah-rumah dia di sekitar Kota Bharu ni gagal untuk mengesahkan.
The raids were conducted at several houses believed to be linked to the woman. Police found that the residences had been recently vacated by the suspect. Luna is believed to have previously used a food business as a front to conceal the syndicate's activities. The government, through the Higher Education Ministry and Education Ministry, is set to launch the National Education Plan 2026 to 2035. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is scheduled to officiate the launching on Tuesday, aimed at building a high-quality, inclusive and globally competitive education system. In a joint statement, the two ministries said the plan encompasses the entire national education ecosystem from schools to universities. At the higher education level, the Malaysian Higher Education Plan 2026 to 2035 will serve as the primary roadmap for the next decade. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Education Plan 2026 to 2035 will serve as the foundation for national education development. The blueprint will be driven by 7 strategic pillars and 49 high-impact initiatives. It is designed to be dynamic and flexible while responding to global shifts and technological advancements. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has reminded government's members of Parliament to focus on their duties and to engage in debates responsibly as the new parliamentary session begins this week. The reminder came during a pre-session briefing at the Sri Perdana Complex in Putrajaya earlier on Sunday, ahead of the first sitting on Monday. Unity Government spokesperson Datuk Fahmi Fazil said such briefings are routine, allowing members of Parliament, senators and ministers to finalise preparations before Parliament convenes.
Ya, dia sampaikan pesanan lah untuk kita memberi fokus kepada tugas. Itu secara umum dia mengingatkan kita sebagai ahli parlimen, kita ada tugas dan tanggungjawab bukan hanya untuk hadir tapi untuk membahas dengan baik dalam sidang.
4 bills will receive priority for tabling for the session, including a bill to limit the Prime Minister's term to no more than 10 years, a bill on the separation of powers between the Public Prosecutor and the Attorney General, the Ombudsman Bill, and a bill on the freedom of information. The first meeting of the 5th session of the 15th Parliament will be opened on Monday by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Sultan Ibrahim, who will deliver his royal address, which traditionally sets out the government's legislative agenda. The failure to follow established procedures has been identified as a key weakness in the government's procurement process. Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Shamsul Azri Abu Bakar, said such irregularities occurred despite the Finance Ministry providing various flexibilities to streamline procurement.
Berlakunya ketidakakuran ini kerana ahli lembaga dan jawatankuasa serta pegawai ini kemudian tak faham spirit perolehan itu.
He added that internal lapses among officials in grasping the principles and objectives of the regulations have contributed to the problem. As a result, the Finance Ministry will tighten procurement guidelines for all ministries and statutory bodies to prevent future leaks or misuse. Last Friday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim ordered all procurement linked to corruption issues involving the Malaysian Armed Forces and the police to be temporarily frozen. The freeze will remain in place until the processes are reorganized to ensure they are free from the risk of corruption and abuse of power.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
A family of 3, including 2 children, died after they were involved in a 2-vehicle accident in Kulim, Kedah on Sunday. A spokesperson from the Kedah Fire and Rescue Department said a team of rescuers were deployed to the scene located at Jalan Sungai Kop after they were alerted of the crash at 5:09 p.m. Upon arrival, firefighters discovered that 2 cars had collided before skidding onto the road shoulder. Rescue personnel had to use specialized cutting equipment to extricate the driver, who was trapped inside, while 2 children were rescued by passerby. All 3 victims were pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. The collision also caused the second car to catch fire. The driver of the second vehicle managed to escape with minor injuries and was taken to the Kulim hospital. The case has been handed over to the police for further action. After being reported missing for over 3 days, Nadia Kasuma has been confirmed to have passed away while in transit in Saudi Arabia. According to Nadia's daughter, the 50-year-old actress suffered a heart attack and her remains will be laid to rest in Jeddah. Nadia Kasuma, whose real name was Nadia Kasumawati Abdul Karim, was reported missing after her whereabouts could not be traced while transiting at the King Abdul Aziz International Airport in Jeddah during a flight from Kuala Lumpur to London. Nadia's husband, Professor Muhammad Kamarul Kabilan Abdullah, said he was informed of his wife's death by Wisma Putra on Saturday night.
Wisma Putra, they called me up last night. And dia maklumkan that benda ni dah terjadi lah. So the other details, and saya minta maaf sebab Wisma Putra will come out with a statement. Please wait for the statement.
He added that Nadia passed away at approximately 8:07 a.m. local time on the day she went missing, and her remains were at the King Fahad Hospital. Kamarul and his daughter have departed for Jeddah to make arrangements for Nadia's burial. Meanwhile, the Malaysian embassy in Riyadh and the Consulate General in Jeddah are currently providing the necessary consular assistance to Nadia's family to ensure that all arrangements are well taken care of. Wisma Putra said that representatives from the embassy and the Consulate General will personally monitor the situation and facilitate the next steps. In a statement on Sunday, the Foreign Ministry also extended its condolences to Nadia's family and recorded its appreciation to the Saudi Arabian authorities for their assistance and cooperation. The agency that handled Nadia's Umrah and visitation package also extended its condolences. It added that it would provide full cooperation in managing the arrangements and any related matters needed by the family. The People's Progressive Party, or PPP, has been readmitted as a component party of the Barisan Nasional Coalition. The announcement was made by BN Chairman Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who also explained that internal disputes involving another component party, MIC, have been resolved. Zahid, who is also UMNO president, announced this in his opening address at the 72nd PPP General Assembly on Sunday. He said the Registrar of Societies, through a letter dated November 25th, had confirmed PPP's status as part of the coalition.
Pada 21 hari bulan Januari ini, satu formaliti saja akan dilakukan bahawa akan ada sebuah agenda khas di dalam mesyuarat Dewan Tertinggi Barisan Nasional yang akan diadakan di Kota Kinabalu dan dengan resminya Presiden PPP dijemput untuk hadir.
Previously known as My PPP, the party had exited BN in 2018. It later became embroiled in a leadership dispute and was deregistered by the ROS in 2019 before being re-registered in April 2023. Meanwhile, Zahid said any issues that may have arisen involving BN component parties, particularly MIC, have been resolved. He pointed to the presence of MIC leaders at several UMNO programs, including the UMNO General Assembly this past week, as evidence that relations between the two parties are back on stable footing.
Bukan hanya menghantar ahli-ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri, juga ahli Parlimen, Senator dan juga Dewan Rakyat. Tapi MIC juga telah menghantar timbalan presidennya untuk mewakili MIC. Ini memperlihatkan bahawa ribut di dalam cawan itu telah selesai.
Meanwhile, MIC has welcomed the readmission of PPP, describing it as a strategic necessity to consolidate BN's diverse strengths. Its Deputy President, Datuk Sri M. Saravanan, suggested that other BN-friendly parties should also be given full admission in the coalition. He said the inclusion of parties such as Makal Sakti, IPF, KIMA and MIUP would be strategically important to reinforce multifaceted cooperation within Barisan Nasional. Saravanan added that such a move would help ensure political stability and long-term unity within the coalition. The Tapa MP also highlighted that these parties have long played a key role in supporting grassroots machinery and contributing to BN's election successes. Bangladeshi-led syndicate in Kelantan busted. More from the local front after this breather.
Terbaru ditonton.
Cik Rashid, kenalkan akaun kami Laila dan Amina.
Bos rasa Lemina share tu betul-betul genuine ke?
Dia orang ada sesuatu yang interesting.
Zaman sekarang ni banyak yang gunakan label agama. Kadang-kadang dalam hidup ni kan Amina, bila nak jadi baik, kita kena berlakon jadi baik.
Kadang-kadang kita cuba untuk lindungi orang yang takkan buat perkara yang sama pada kita.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Jadi Hinrejab adalah simbol perjuangan satu daripada ratusan ribu anak-anak yang sekarang sedang menjadi mangsa kegelapan Zionis. Maka saya seru pada ibu bapa bawa anak-anak untuk melihat secara gambaran yang lebih jelas dan luas apa yang berlaku dalam Gaza.
Kita ada 65% majoriti Muslim. Di manakah kita sekarang ini? Jadi turun ke wayang yang terdekat, sama-sama support the voice of Hinrajab, support gerakan suara Malaysia.
Masuk dalam tu mesti kadang-kadang kita terpijak dan Hanifah tu. Masuk dalam bukan senanglah nak cari macam tu lah.
Daerah Mekah ni memang istimewa lah. Memang itu memang cukup nyaman lah.
Memang minat, memang terlalu sedap lah.
Dari hasilan itu kita tengok dari mulung juga, saiz dia. Mulung ni bukan semua sama, tidak.
Kalau tak pakai pelur api-api tak jadi sagu. Hancur, mengeras dia lamantak.
Waspada kereta bila standby, kenderaan mengalir ke rukun.
Ulat jeti ambil penumpang secara tidak sah.
Harga tambang belum minta lagi berapa, tapi tak ada pakai apa-apa aplikasi ya.
Tambang mahal tapi tiada permit.
You ambil berapa orang?
7 orang.
Orang ke mana? KL. Berapa you charge?
400.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Bersatu President Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the party is open to UMNO's proposal to form a grand collaboration among Malay Muslim political parties. However, he stressed that any cross-party discussions involving potential cooperation between Bersatu and UMNO must be conducted through official party channels. In a Facebook post, Muhyiddin said such discussions must be transparent and take into account all relevant factors, including the views of Bersatu's partners in Perikatan Nasional and UMNO's position within the unity government. He added that any talks must involve the top leadership of both parties. Muhyiddin said Bersatu would consider the proposal put forward by UMNO President Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi once clearer details and input are provided. Zahid had announced the formation of a new grand coalition to unite all Malay Muslim parties under one umbrella in his winding-up speech at the UMNO General Assembly on Saturday. He said the grand collaboration would not challenge the position of the unity government nor require the dissolution of any political party. The initiative would run in parallel with the formation of a National Consultative Council to discuss Malay political agendas across all areas. Meanwhile, UMNO has welcomed the open stance taken by the Bersatu president. UMNO Secretary-General Dato' Ashraf Wajdi Dusuki, when contacted by TV3, said the time has come for political parties to set aside past disputes and focus on the wider interests of religion, peace and the people.
Buang yang keruh, ambil yang jernih, apa yang berlaku dan perbalahan yang berkisar soal dendam atau perebutan kuasa, itu tidak harus kita jadikan sebagai suatu penghalang bagi maksud untuk kita melihat kerangka perjuangan Islam dan Melayu yang lebih besar.
He added that he would seek approval from UMNO President Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi to formally extend invitation letters to political parties. The Immigration Department, JIM, has dismantled a migrant smuggling syndicate in Kelantan known as Iqbal in a special operation targeting illegal human trafficking. The Friday raid resulted in the arrest of 12 Bangladeshi nationals believed to be the masterminds behind the syndicate. The operation was carried out on premises in Kota Baru, which was turned into a temporary holding house for migrants brought into the country through unauthorized routes. The premises was located in a remote village to evade detection by the authorities and served as a transit point for newly smuggled migrants before being sent to their next destinations. Immigration Director General Datuk Zakaria Shapban said that the syndicate was based in Thailand with a network of agents in the migrants' home countries. He added that the migrants had entered Malaysia via unregulated land routes along the Malaysia-Thailand border. Enforcement officers also arrested a 27-year-old Rohingya man from Myanmar who acted as the caretaker of the holding house. JIM is also tracking down the property owner suspected of colluding with the syndicate.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
At least 6 killed as fire rips through Karachi shopping mall. The details when Nightline returns.
Waspada kereta bila standby. Kenderaan mengalir ke rukun.
Ulat jeti ambil penumpang secara tidak sah.
Harga tambang belum minta lagi berapa. Tapi tak ada pakai apa-apa aplikasi ya.
Tambang mahal tapi tiada permit.
You ambil berapa orang?
7 orang.
Orang ke mana? KL. Berapa you charge?
400.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Ikut pada perangkaan yang dikeluarkan oleh penganjur, lebih daripada 280,000 jumlah penonton yang menonton The Voice of Hinrajab di Perancis sahaja. So saya harap anda semua boleh datang dan tengok dan hayati sendiri.
Di mana Malaysia yang mempunyai sekurang-kurangnya 65% Muslim. Kenapa kita tak ada di dalam carta tersebut? Korang boleh join gerakan Suara Malaysia. InsyaAllah kita akan sama-sama berjuang untuk Palestin.
Seorang pencuci kereta dihadapkan ke Mahkamah Magistrate Temerloh atas pertuduhan membunuh sepupunya dengan menggunakan pisau dan gunting bulan lalu.
Dia mendengar suara-suara gaib yang menyuruhnya, bunuh dia, bunuh dia, bunuh dia. Saksi-saksi ni dah sampai tiba di rumah ni. Sebenarnya si mati ni masih lagi menyawa.
Mana dia sampai tahap mengugut. Kau bunuh awak satu hari esok dia tu.
Dah lah. Sekarang ni kita nak buat apa lagi? Iqbal tu dah masuk wad tau.
Kau kira beruntung tau. Kau ada keluarga. Aku sebatang kara.
Iqbal, dia hilang dari wad. Hilang? Alamak. Cepat. Kena pergi mana pula? Cari Iqbal lah. Kita kena hapuskan Pora tu juga.
Muat turun dan layan Tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Nightline continues. Indonesian authorities on Sunday said they had located the wreckage of a fisheries surveillance plane that went missing in South Sulawesi province on the slope of a fog-covered mountain and had recovered the body of one of the 10 people on board. According to an official at South Sulawesi's rescue agency, Andi Sultan, local rescuers discovered large parts of the aircraft suspected to be the fuselage of the plane in different locations around Mount Bulu Saraung in the Maros region at 7:49 a.m. Sunday. The tail of the plane was also seen at the bottom of the mountain slope. Also found were the engine and passenger seats. He also confirmed that rescuers found a crash victim's body in a ravine around 200 meters from Mount Bulu Saraung's peak. The status of the other 9 people on board was not yet known. The ATR 42500 turboprop owned by Aviation Group Indonesia Air Transport lost contact with air traffic control on Saturday at about 1:30 p.m. local time around the Maros region in South Sulawesi. Initial investigations found the aircraft had crashed into the mountain slope. In Pakistan, at least 6 people have been killed and more than 20 injured when a fire tore through a shopping mall in Karachi. The fire broke out on Saturday at the Gul Plaza shopping mall, a densely packed commercial complex, and continued to burn for hours. By early Sunday, authorities said crews had managed to control about 30% of the fire. Rescue officials said the mall contains roughly 1,200 shops, raising fears that people could still be trapped inside. The Edhi Foundation said part of the building collapsed due to the intensity of the fire, complicating rescue efforts. Initial findings suggested the fire started due to a short circuit in one of the shops before rapidly spreading throughout the complex. The European Union was expected to hold an emergency meeting of its ambassadors in Brussels on Sunday after U.S. President Donald Trump announced that he would hit 8 member countries with tariffs until a deal is struck to allow the United States to purchase Greenland. Members of the European Parliament and some American lawmakers were among the political leaders who expressed their opposition to the 10% tariff threats Saturday and to Trump's goal of bringing the Danish territory under U.S. control. European Parliament President Roberta Metsola said Greenland and Denmark have both made clear that Greenland is not for sale and its sovereignty and territorial integrity needs to be respected. She also stressed that no threat of tariffs can or will change that fact. Several European political leaders signaled a desire to halt final approval of an EU-US trade deal that was reached last summer and already partly implemented, but which still requires passage in the European Parliament to become official. Switching to sports, football, the Malaysia Cup. 3 more first legs round of 16 matches were played on Sunday. Perak FC beat Kuala Lumpur City FC 2-0, while Penang FC claimed a narrow 1-0 win over Kuching City FC. At the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium, Teto Martin was in devastating form, netting 6 goals as the Southern Tigers demolished Police 10-1. Martin's brace gave JDT a 2-goal cushion going into the interval. The Southern Tigers continued their onslaught in the second half with 8 more goals. Nazmi Faiz Mansour added JDT's third in the 48th minute before 2 goals from Marcos Guilhem, 1 from Manuel Hidalgo, and 4 goals from Martin sealed an emphatic win for the favourites. PDRM's consolation came from Muhammad Imran Samso's strike. Both teams will meet again next Saturday for the second leg clash. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at visuals of paddle boarders braving near freezing temperatures on Lake Annecy in the French Alps as they take part in the 2026 Gla Gla race. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and stay safe.